Hey guys, today's video should be really short. I'm just going to talk about the last 5 words of Unit 12 vocab. You've got completing the sentence on Google Classroom to do. Um, like I said, now that I've said this video is going to be short, it'll probably be like half an hour. You can say I'm a weirdo. You can't say I'm not self-aware. So, one other thing before I get started, do make sure, I think I said this in yesterday's video, but go back and check if you have any zeros because you didn't turn something in, get it turned in, okay? I want to be able to get those grades in. I don't want to have to wait until, the very last week of school and you're like, I've got a 65 and you scramble and turn in 4 things in one day that I have to go back and find and grade. That's a pain, okay? It's going to be a pain on you if you have to rush and do it. Get them done. I don't assign a ton of work every day. I don't know about your other teachers. Shouldn't be too difficult. All right. Word 16 from Unit 12 is rant, which is something that I tend to do a lot. I rant and ramble. So to rant is to usually to complain, but not necessarily. It's to talk loudly about something, usually kind of nonsensically. Like if you've ever been to New Orleans or any other big city, you might find people on street corners just ranting about some kind of nonsense. And you're like, what is that person talking about? And your parents are like, no, don't look, keep going. That's what ranting is. If somebody stands up in class and they start shouting about how the lunchroom gives us too much chicken or something like that, and they want pork instead, that's ranting. They might have a point, but it's still ranting. So it's usually someone who's speaking in a wild, noisy fashion. Your book says to speak wildly and noisily. And this can be a verb, or it can be a noun. You can say he went on a rant about how much he loved pineapple on pizza. I do. Fight me. So as a verb, you could say, he ranted about the failings of the current economic system in Bulgaria. I don't know about Bulgaria's economy. I'm just making something up. But either one would work and would be totally fine. Word 17 is reinforce. This is a verb. It means to make something stronger, to support it. This can be literal. Like I might reinforce the dining room table that I'm currently sitting at by stacking cinder blocks under it. I'm not going to do that. I think it's pretty sturdy. Or I might reinforce your belief that I'm a weirdo by teaching a lesson while standing on my head one day. I don't think I have the balance for it, but I might try. Either way, that would be a reinforcement, one literal, one figurative. Either way works. It's always a verb. Word 18 is seclusion. We're all kind of in seclusion right now, in isolation because of the quarantine, because of coronavirus. So this should be a pretty simple word to use. To be in seclusion is to be in solitude. If you think of like a monk who lives up in the mountains and hasn't spoken to anyone in 5 years, they are living in seclusion, solitude, isolation. Pretty easy word to use. It's always a noun. Word 19 is status. So status has a lot of different meanings and can be used a lot of different ways. But it's a word that's pretty common that you're probably pretty familiar with already. It's a person's condition, basically, or the condition of something. So, excuse me. You might say that my current status is a teacher. Okay, that's describing my job status, but it is a type of status. My current status is healthy and awake. Like I said, it can be used a lot of different ways. It's a very easy word to use, but it's a very broad, diverse word. The status of something is just the condition it's in. It can be the rank of something. It could be somebody's occupation. It could be their current health. There's a lot of ways to use that. And it's not really easy to narrow it down because of its diversity of uses, because it is such a diverse word in the English language. We use it in so many different ways, but they're all similar. It's all talking about the current condition that something is in, or the current rank of something, the current status of it, obviously. So not a terribly difficult word. Shouldn't be too hard to put into a sentence either. Turmoil is word 20. Turmoil is a noun. This is a state of disorder. It's chaos. It's, a whole lot of stuff going on at once. It's not orderly. So if you walk into a classroom and all the kids are standing on the desks, jumping up and down and shoving donuts in their faces, the classroom is in turmoil. If you get home one day from the days when we could go outside, if you get home one day and there is a gorilla in your living room ripping your couch apart while stuffing bananas down its face, why is it something eating in every story I tell? Anyway, maybe because I'm always hungry. So if there's a gorilla doing that, then your living room would be in turmoil. It would be in chaos. It would be in disorder. Your parents might exaggerate and say your bedroom is always in turmoil because you leave stuff everywhere. Either way, it's a pretty easy word to use as well. I don't think there is a terribly difficult word in this whole unit. Maybe cash, despondent, braggart could be a little bit difficult to use. Piecemeal might be a little bit challenging, but most of them are really easy. even those are kind of a stretch to say that they're difficult. So this shouldn't be a unit that you have too much struggle with. Again, completing the sentences posted. Make sure you get that done. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about the intertextuality in the bronze bow. You probably won't see my face. You'll probably be looking at the computer screen so that I can give you notes. Anyway, see you guys.